We're here at the Green Door Tavern in River North with Keith Giles and David Chase to talk about the West Loop and the South Loop. Quattro you mentioned, and that's 20th, somewhere around there?
Yes.
And Wabash?
20th and Wabash.
If I live at even, 18th, 16th, that's very walkable. Am I going to feel comfortable at 10 at night walking down Wabash? I'm single person, it's late at night. What's sort of the street feeling? I mean, that's one thing that maybe separates new neighborhoods a little bit from, more populated neighborhoods.
Well, I'll walk with you, Bart.
I'll give you a call.
You're feeling uncomfortable. I just did that walk because there's a place on 14th and Wabash that I walked from room 21 to there, and it's not a high pedestrian traffic area. The L is there, and when the L is there, it's kind of noisy and so forth, but it's not dangerous, and I think it is, right now, maybe again, it's desolate, but there's projects going up on those vacant sites. So maybe today on that particular strip on South Wabash, you might feel a little uncomfortable. In 3 years, when 2 of those buildings were built, there'll be 6 times as many people there, and so forth. So yeah, it's an infill neighborhood now. There's a lot of infill sites getting built on, and bringing more people down there, which will, I think, eliminate that fear of walking.
There is a lot of retail coming, most of which seems kind of car-oriented, I think. I mean, Target, probably most people are driving to Target, wouldn't you say? You have the Roosevelt Collection is going to include a lot of retail. And I think some of those people have even been signed. I'm not sure, but I think some pretty major retail there is Prairie Station to the south, right? Also, I think major retail coming. That's Warman's, right?
You're talking about along Cermak?
Yeah.
I'm not sure that's what's happening along Cermak now. Actually, Cermak and Indiana and Michigan is because the Olympics are hopefully coming to Chicago. They're encouraging high-density hotels there. They're trying to, in fact, there was an article in the Tribune a couple weeks ago that there's a couple of blocks that are being condemned because they want those sites to be built as hotels. And they're looking to add several thousand hotel rooms along the Cermak corridor there. And that's really in anticipation of the Olympics. So that's going to be, there's going to be retail there, but it's going to be built in collaboration with the hotels.
I would say, just on restaurant count, it's pretty hard to beat the West Loop. It's pretty hard for most neighborhoods to beat the West Loop. But in terms of retail in general, the South Loop has some pretty major retailers that, however you feel about them, a lot of buyers are probably pretty happy to live close to them. Does the West Loop have any room for that kind of retail development? It hasn't really.
It's going to be. I don't think you're going to see any big boxes in the West Loop. And what we mean by big boxes are the Targets, the Whole Foods. Again, as I mentioned before, it's more of a boutique type neighborhood where the retail fronts are dress shops, or they might be a restaurant or some sort of specialty store. Now there is a new development planned along Jackson that will have a movie theater and significant retail, but that's a little bit on the peripheral. So I think we may see some additional larger retail uses. Again, the movie theater, the national retailer coming in. But you're just not going to see a lot of big destination-type retail, and that's why it's occurring on Randolph, which is really almost equidistant between the two neighborhoods. If you travel from the southeast corner of the South Loop to Canal and Roosevelt, it's further than going from Madison and Halsted to Roosevelt. I mean, it's just because it's a big area. And it's interesting, you talk about safety and how restaurants bring people to neighborhoods and keep those people there, and then people leave the restaurant and go buy other retail. A great example of how street level retail, boutique level retail can develop is in Bucktown, and particularly right now on Division between Ashland and Damon. I mean, it's been phenomenal what's occurring there, and I see the same thing happening along Madison in the West Loop, and certainly along Halsted. And we're actually seeing it starting to happen along Lake and Fulton. And you have these different, pods of development occurring. And at 10 o'clock at night, I'm amazed to swing back through the neighborhood and see how active the street life is in the West Loop.
Which street?
Madison, Lake,
Randolph.
Fulton, Randolph, Halsted.
Okay.
All of them. Very active.
Right.
People walk, very, eclectic group. A lot of young people because of the club scenes. A lot of older people who not only live in the area but have come, they've traveled to the area. They might be empty nesters. Just a wide range of activities.